Welcome back to Briggs on Books, our international talk show, where I think we started today in France and had authors from Canada and from the state of Virginia. And now we're going to go all the way over across the ocean to England. Dave Pitt, the author. Dave, tell our viewers where you are.
Hi, Mike. Yeah, I'm in Leeds, in northern England, a little place called Thorner.
Nice. Now, in the United States, where I am right now, it's about just after 2 o'clock in the afternoon. What time is it there?
It's 10 o'clock in the evening here, so we're 8 hours ahead, I think. So I won't spoil it for you and tell you what's happened in those 8 hours.
You're coming to us from the future.
Yeah.
By the way, Dave, I'm going to put up one of your books on the screen here. I think this is the first one, The Time Machine.
Life.
The Life Machine. That's right in front of me. I missed it. Now, and are there 3 books in the series?
There's 3 in the series, yeah. You get The Life Machine, The Snake's Tale, and The Red Frame.
What would you call your genre?
It's a psychological thriller with supernatural elements, religious, philosophical elements as well to it. But basically, it's a detective story at its heart.
Now, I want to talk about the books a little bit. You started off, you're going to pursue acting?
Yes, yeah, I've been an actor for quite a while now. And yeah, I'm a chairman of a local drama group. We put on performances 2 or 3 times a year. That's my other hat I wear. But my actual career is a professional writer.
You started, where's that Shakespeare place, Stratford, something?
Yeah, I managed to get into college at Stratford-on-Avon, the home of William Shakespeare.
That's great.
So the home of theatre, really, the best place in the country to learn acting, I suppose. It gave me some really good fundamentals.
And then at some point you started writing. It looks like you started and can't stop.
I can't stop now. I've gone for it full time. Somebody asked me the other day, well, how are you doing financially? It's like, you know what? That's really not the important part. I would love that to happen. But the point is, I wake up every day and I'm really happy with what I'm doing. I live a creative life. So, yeah, I couldn't be any happier with my decision.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I love to read. I read all day, all night. And my spouse said, well, you're going to have to find someone to make your living doing that. So here we are on the talk show. And I'm glad you're here, Dave. Now, looking up a little bit about these books, here's The Life Machine again. And there's something about angels and different things they encounter.
Sure. Okay. That's just trying to put it together now. It's set in the real world, in real time. But they say there is a supernatural element. There's a man who tries to commit suicide, and he falls from a window and he hits the floor. And in the real world, you'd think that would be it. But his body goes into a coma, but his soul still goes to this white world where it meets an angel. And the angel's very confused as to why he's there. He's very confused as to why he's there. So for all of that first book, The Life Machine, it's this man called Alex and the angel trying to work out what's gone on. Something's gone wrong here, while his body lays in a coma in an Edinburgh hospital. At the same time, there's a serial killer who was caught prior to the book, and he's been locked away for a while, but he won't speak to anyone, so they're trying to get him to communicate. And he ends up doing crayon drawings, but he starts drawing events that he could never have seen. He's been locked in this sort of mental institute for 5 years. And one of the things he draws is the man falling from the building and hitting the floor with an angel above him. And this gets into the world of the Inspector Harvey Cooper, and he starts to investigate why these things are happening and how this man fell from this building. And it starts to mushroom out into a much, much bigger story and bigger world.
That's great. And it continues into The Snake's Tale.
The Snake's Tale, yes, in which we meet a new character called Snake Hornblower, who's a destitute, a homeless person, and he sort of gets involved. One of the characters that appears in the first book is mentioned is something that's being created by the event that happened in the first book, has created this new sort of life force, and then that becomes involved with Snake, and his whole story begins then to take over. But it's all linked. It is all one continuous story. The first book is a standalone. I wrote it as a standalone, but then I got so much good feedback from it. I thought, you know what, I think I could go again with this. So I did. So books 2 and 3 pretty much run concurrently. It's one big story because I couldn't stop when I was writing The Snake's Tale. I was carried on writing. It was like,
Yeah.
I need to stop this and do another one.
Yeah, and here's the third one, by the way. We have that, the red frame.
The red frame, that's the big ending. Yeah, that's when it all gets a little bit apocalyptic.
Yeah.
And angels and demons are really taking over and threatening. And another new creature called the Glitch.
It sounds like we need to read these in order.
You do need to read them in order, yeah.
That's
There's
good.
no doubt about that. That's it. So this way the story came to me. So, yeah. I'm currently writing the fourth part as well, which is almost like a new beginning for it. At the moment, the working title on that is The Burial Day. But that's still to come. I've been finishing another book in between that, which I can tell you about as well, if you like.
I'm the fan of a series. I like a series, and it gives you something to look forward to. I can't tell you how many times I've read a book and it said, man, is that it? What happens now? So this is great.
Yeah.
Now,
I love a series of books too. I used to love John Connolly's Charlie Parker detective series. I love those books, again, because they were sort of detective, real world, but they had the supernatural element. I would say, yeah, John Connolly and perhaps Stephen King are my biggest influences.
yeah. Now you've started on the next one, you said?
I've started on the next one, The Burial Day. I'm just over halfway through it. But then I've taken a break because I wanted to, rather than just plow on, it wasn't that I was unhappy with it, but obviously I wanted it to be amazing. Yeah. And I felt like I might have just been treading water a little bit, so I've taken a break from it. And I've written another book I've always wanted to write, which was when I went to Stratford-on-Avon College originally. I went there as a performance poet. I was going to read out my lines to everybody, entertain them with jokes and japes and serious philosophical poems. So I've carried those poems with me for years, and I thought, you know what, let's write a poetry book. I already have the poems, so I've literally just finished that, well, in the last couple of days, really, and I hopefully get it published by the end of the week. Get it out on Amazon Kindle, and it's almost autobiographical. And that's all in rhyme as well as the poems that are in there. It's been a bit of a complex job, but I think it's an interesting poetry book, I think.
It sounds fascinating. Now, we do have your web address on the screen. What would our viewers find there?
On my website, there's a little bit of information about me. Obviously, there's access to all the books. You can order the books from me directly there. They'll all be signed, posted out to you, not a problem. I have merchandise as well, which I went into. Got mugs and fridge magnets, pens, all sorts of things. What else we got? Coasters, yeah.
I love merch with the book. So
yeah.
In fact, my favorite thing, and I'll probably do it with this series, is to gift it to people, the 3 books, and then all of a sudden a mug shows up at their house or an ink pen or something. Keep giving the gifts. So
when anybody ever orders a book directly from me and they get it signed, I always put a little something in there as well. Always. Yeah. It's just a sign of appreciation. Thank you so much. Sure. So yeah.
Whenever I can go direct to the author, I try to do that. So
sure.
And also your Instagram's up on the screen, and it's all there. I tell our viewers, I gave them a hint a second ago, I gift books because I always have to go to somebody's party or something, and they're going to get a book from me instead of a bottle of wine. So I encourage our viewers, don't go and order just one book from Dave. Of course, order the trilogy, but order a few sets of them and give them away. It's a fun thing to do.
That is a wonderful thing to do, yeah. Right. I'm worried about the writing industry at the moment because of the introduction of AI. So yeah, I'm all for real authors and real work and real human creativity. So
yeah, who knows what direction it's going to go? I never thought I'd be reading a book on a tablet or a computer or something like that. We're running out of time, Dave, but I can't neglect to ask you about where your books are set.
Okay, the books are set in Edinburgh, a city that I lived in during the sort of the millennium, 1998 to about 2001, 2002. I lived in Edinburgh, and it was such a vibrant yet ancient city. And I thought, I'm going to set my books there. It's got everything I need. So, and I love the place as well. So. And
is it current times?
It's current times. Yeah, everything's as up to date as I can make it, and I've sort of fact-checked everything I can to find out everything's still in the same place.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about
that. In the first book, I did notice that they've got trams back since I lived there. They've introduced the tram system back, and I thought, oh, heck. So I had to quickly add them into the second book, that there was something to do with trams happening.
That's a lot of fun. Dave, we're out of time, but any last thoughts for our viewers?
Please read my work. I'm sure you'll find it interesting. It's very fast-paced, and it's I've been told it's really good and it's thrilling. So, but thank you, Mike, for the opportunity to speak today.
Yeah, and I want to have you back. I'm going to try to read these because, as I told you, I'm very interested in Scotland, and you got to go there, and I haven't yet been. So this could be a little introduction.
It's got everything for you in there, trust me.
Very good. Angels, demons, everything you would find in Scotland, no doubt.
Absolutely.
All right, Dave. Thanks for your time. And for our viewers, stick around. We have more authors coming up right after this.